We hear this phrase a lot. Love yourself. But what does that actually mean? And why does it feel so damn hard to do sometimes, especially at those times you're really beating up on yourself and rejecting yourself? In this video, I'm going to explore a powerful process that uncovers and unleashes your natural intrinsic love, and that is the love of your true self. And that's the kind of love that transforms your life from the inside out. And it's radical acceptance. If you think back to your childhood and remember the feelings that you experienced when you looked at your parents and grandparents through the eyes of a child filled with love for them. And if you had a sibling, the love you had for them where you just wanted to hug them all the time. Or you may remember an animal that you loved so much you never wanted to let them go. Feel and remember that pure, radiant love that you naturally embodied. The joy, the freedom, the unwavering belief that you had in your own goodness. And not only that, the freedom you experienced in expressing your love. Remember when you never doubted who you were, where you felt whole and free in who you were. And that's not just a nostalgic memory. It's a glimpse into your true nature. It's who you are, your true self. But for many of us, that light got dimmed along the way. We encountered a world that didn't always know how to handle such untamed, pure, unconditional love, freedom and truth and expression of your true and accepting self. Maybe it was that you experienced conditional love where your worthiness depended on achievements or fitting into a certain mold. Maybe love was withheld from you or distorted by the pain of those around you. Whatever the reason, many of us internalize a painful message. We're not lovable and we're not enough. And these subtle and not so subtle messages crept in. Be good enough, fit in, don't be too much. And we started to believe them. But here's the thing about a child. A child doesn't judge, discriminate, or reject. They simply accept. They accept everyone, including themselves, until they don't. When they learn to direct those messages inward towards themselves based on what they experience in the world, and that is, you, me, and everyone does that, well, we learn to adapt. We learn to start shrinking ourselves to hide parts of ourselves that we believe and fear are unacceptable. We trade our true self and authenticity for a pale form of love that's conditional, fragile, exhausting, and even painful. And that's where the real struggle with self-love begins. Hi, I'm Melinda, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new to it, then wonderful to connect with you. True self-love isn't about achieving some perfect version of ourselves. It's about radical, pure acceptance for exactly who we are right now. Our human, hurt, messy, beautiful, and perfectly imperfect selves. It's about not making our human self wrong. That is the being that we became to fit into the world around us so we were accepted and acceptable to others, and more often than not to ourselves. And this is where acceptance comes in. Radical, unwavering, compassionate acceptance. And you may be thinking, isn't acceptance a matter of being resigned to something? Doesn't it mean I have to accept my flaws, what I've done wrong, and that I'm not good enough and that I have to live with that? Doesn't it mean I'm giving up on changing or growing? Well, it's a big fat no to all of those. You see, Being resigned means you accept something you don't really want or like, and where you believe you can't do something about it. Whereas acceptance is about empowerment and being able to do something about what you accept. Because here's the truth. You cannot change something until you truly accept it. Otherwise, you're potentially paying lip service to what you are changing, and it won't be sustainable. Acceptance doesn't mean something has to stay the same. It means you cease fighting it and making it wrong. This enables you to see it for what it is, rather than your emotive-driven, subjective view of it. You honour the parts of you that require attention for healing and conditioning. Instead of seeing and calling aspects of yourself negative, wrong, flaws, faults, you accept they are a part of you. And you accept this is part of who you've been, because this is how you were conditioned, what you learned, and what you experienced. You accept that these parts of you are not natural to you. And you see the value of these parts of you and how they've actually helped you get through in life to where you are now. And you thank them. You accept that it is time for them to transform, for unraveling of the conditioning and healing of the emotions. Accepting everything you experience through these processes. Accepting what they transform into as you create the space for what is natural to you and for the true you to shine through. I will reinforce, you cannot truly transform what you haven't fully accepted. Think of it like this. If you're constantly at war with a part of yourself, judging it, shaming it, rejecting it, trying to force it into some predetermined shape, you're coming from a place of expectations, resistance, non-acceptance, and not love. But when you choose radical acceptance, something profound happens. You create space for healing. Here's how this transformative process of radical acceptance works. Firstly, you stop fighting reality and truth. You see, acceptance isn't about liking everything about yourself or pretending that painful experiences didn't happen. It's about acknowledging what is without judgment, where you're neutral about it, where you acknowledge the good, the messy, and everything in between. It's about laying down the weapons of non-acceptance, self-criticism, rejection, and shame. Secondly, you embrace your wholeness. We've been conditioned to believe that some parts of ourselves are bad or unlovable, but you were born lovable, and that is who you truly are. You're pure love. True acceptance embraces all of who you are, the light and the shadow. Because within what you may have been conditioned to believe as negative emotions or patterns lies the gift to deeper understanding, healing, and connecting to who you truly are. Thirdly, create conscious choice. When you stop resisting reality and truth, you empower yourself to choose differently. You accept what is rather than what you want it to be. Then you can release patterns that no longer serve you. You can heal old wounds, and you can step into alignment with your true value, worth, deservedness, and true self. But I will clarify. True radical acceptance is a pure process, a process that guides you back to the reconnection to your whole, limitless, true and unconditional self-love. And this is where the real magic happens. When you embrace yourself fully, you unlock a wellspring of love and compassion within that can never be taken away, can never be depleted or diminished. It becomes your guiding force, empowering you to create a life that is empowered by your true self. This is an ongoing journey, not a destination. And there will be times when self-doubt creeps in, when old patterns resurface, when you feel rejection of yourself and feel unlovable. And in those moments, I invite you to return to this fundamental truth. You are inherently worthy of love and belonging exactly as you are. You are love. So the next time you're struggling with self-judgment, remember this. You are worthy of love exactly as you are. You are lovable exactly as you are. Embrace all of you. Accept all of you. And keep shining your light because you deserve to. And the world needs your light in it.